Hello there. Have you ever had a moment when you felt more connected to your environment and the people around you, allowing you to perceive things that you usually would not? Have you ever been able to realize that you were dreaming within a dream, what is called lucid dreaming? Did you ever have a moment of love and compassion where you could feel what another person or animal was going through, almost as if you were them? Do you remember a moment when you felt unconditional love for humanity and a genuine wish to be of help? These experiences give us a vision of a profound way of being and perceiving beyond our ego. It is an alternative center of gravity that each one of us carries within. When we learn to connect with it, we can achieve a more conscious, balanced, and spiritual way of life within our reach. Although I was born with a spiritual awareness, it took me many years of inner work to eliminate the received programs and beliefs that kept me restless. Studying with Tibetan Lamas in Nepal and India was the gate to put what I had known at the theoretical level into practice. Gradually, I started to feel at peace with myself and the world as it is. I was capable of remaining compassionate without being so dragged by emotional responses. I can safely say that it is the integration of a higher perspective that allows me to live more harmoniously. Thus, I decided to share and teach what proved to be useful for me. So I would like to leave you some of those keys today. And one of them will be experiencing awareness through mindfulness. To enjoy these harmonious states more and make them permanent at some point, we must be focused on the present moment. It is what allows us to increase our discernment and awareness. It's like turning a light in a dark room or focusing on a camera lens. Suddenly, it is as if the world around us comes clearly into view. Maintaining a steadfast focus on the present in whatever we are doing is not easy. More often than not, we get lost in daydreams and fantasies that have nothing to do with reality. The mind appears to have a life of its own, creating non-stop thoughts, judgments, images, stories. That's why we must be watchful and bring ourselves back to the present moment over and over again. Another key I will say here will be taking control. You may have heard this before, but it's still something to bear in mind. It all starts with self-observing ourselves and witnessing our thoughts, sensations, emotions, and behaviors. If we identify with them, we will react automatically, no longer in charge. We all want to expand our capabilities. We want a better life. We yearn for greater inner peace, more happiness, more joy. But without being able to control our minds at will and being truly honest with ourselves, all these goals will always remain out of reach. If we don't have any control over our minds, we behave as programmed machines and we lose touch with our true nature. In order to perceive ourselves as eternal beings, we must realize that we are more than our intellect, our body, knowledge, economic situation, or personal issues. We are immortal beings living a series of earthly experiences that allows us to learn and develop deeply. But bringing that concept to your daily life is tricky unless you learn to be in charge of your mind. And last but not least, we have to remember that we are pure consciousness. We also have heard it before, but we do not apply it. By simply paying attention, we can experience awareness. We can observe something within us beyond thoughts and feelings, and even beyond the mind. We begin to experience it in meditation when the mind ceases in its chatter. We can also experience it in the silence of the mountains, when we can have inner stillness too, or when we have peak experiences. Then we perceive an essence in us that remains calm, witnessing all our behaviors. We keep connected with the universe and others from the depths of our souls. That is who we really are, the luminous part of us that remains in harmony. Regardless of our adventures, misadventures, other people's opinion about us, even rejections, challenges, difficulties, that shiny essence remains in us throughout the incarnation and after the transition. That is consciousness. That is our true identity. That is the source of true joy, peace, and happiness that we seek so much outside without success. That is why it's so worthy to focus on developing our wisdom through developing our minds, hearts, and virtues. Because everything we long for and cannot fulfill is in our inner essence.